This is the Washington State Single-Family Residential Housing Report for the month of May 2024. We'll be reporting on the three most populous counties comprising the NWMLS: King, Snohomish, and Pierce. We have data for all 26 counties contained within the NWMLS, so if you want that information, feel free to contact us. We'll be moving quickly, so pause or rewind the video as necessary. First, we'd like to warn viewers about statistics being reported for Washington State on the Internet. There are many ways to analyze data, and very little explanation being given as to how exactly the information is evaluated. For example, it appears some are lumping all property types and regions together. Others cite new listings being up year over year, but fail to report that total active listings are actually down during the same time period. We feel it's important to report total active listings, as that index includes buyer demand in the equation. For example, if new listings are up, while total active listings are down, it means demand is siphoning off that new supply at a quicker pace. 23 of the 26 counties in the NWMLS reported year-over-year median price gains for the month of April. The three exceptions are some of the counties with the smallest populations, and the limited data can skew the results. So again, we'll be focusing our attention on the three most populous counties: King, Snohomish, and Pierce. King County median prices have risen for 9 of the past 10 months, October being the sole exception. But that's only a fraction of the story. Just look at the size of some of those year-over-year gains in the top-performing map zones. Those 3-digit numbers next to the colored bars. This is what makes deep diving statistical analysis so much fun. It results in surprising insights every time. Overall, King County's median prices rose 12% for the month of April. May data will not be released until sometime towards the end of the first week of June. A quick FYI before moving on to the next graph. Some of the biggest year-over-year gains came in map areas with the highest median prices. We'll be covering those cases in future videos. For now, just be aware that the wealthy do things quite differently than the masses, especially when it comes to buying or selling real estate. Still, supply appears to be growing in various NWMLS counties, quicker in some areas than others. Here's King County's total active listings chart. Months of inventory, supply, is calculated by dividing total active listings by closed sales for the month. King County's month of inventory for the month of April was only 1.04. Considering 5 to 6 months of inventory is the accepted industry standard of a neutral market between buyers and sellers, 1.04 is very low in comparison. Snohomish County's median prices have also been on the rise of late, up 4 consecutive months and up 6 of the past 8 months. Snohomish County's total active listings have been down for 13 straight months year over year. Snohomish County's monthly inventory was only 0.85 for the month of April. Pierce County's median prices have risen 6 sequential months. Prior to that, Pierce County saw 11 successive months of median price declines. Of the 3 counties we're reporting on in this video, Pierce County's total active listings are growing the fastest. If this trend were to continue for long enough or grow at a faster pace, then we could expect to see median prices in Pierce County flatten or even roll over again year on year. Pierce County's months of inventory was 1.43 for the month of April. For the time being, we're still seeing multiple priced offers with escalation clauses for competitively priced properties in some areas, especially in King and Snohomish counties near major work centers. We've been warning buyers on our blog for quite some time that sitting on the sidelines awaiting possible interest rate cuts could be a losing strategy. And Federal Reserve Chairman Powell just spoke at the Foreign Bankers Association in Amsterdam on May 14th. Chairman Powell said, paraphrasing, that he thought further rate hikes were a very small probability. Gulp. And he felt holding the current policy where it's at for longer than previously thought was more likely. The speech was just over an hour, and we didn't hear any talk of rate cuts. Viewers should be aware that the odds of Fed rate cuts keep getting pushed forward in time. We can recall a period in which the CME Group's FedWatch tool had the odds of the first cut coming in January of this year. We're now in May, and the odds currently stand at no cut until September. Meanwhile, home prices around the state have been climbing. Let's have a quick look at the historical record to see if the past can give us some clues about the possible future of home prices. Here's a scatter chart of King County single-family residential properties going clear back to 2001. This is one of the most revealing graphs in this video. The y-axis is median prices, and the x-axis are total active listings. One can clearly see the inverse correlation between the two. The fewer total active listings that are available for sale, the higher median prices climb. Just look where King County prices and total active listings are at currently compared to the housing bubble period. Could home prices collapse in King County? Anything is possible, I suppose, but at the moment those calls for a housing bubble 2.0 look extremely unlikely. King County's 2-year price comparison turned negative in April. This is the first time this has happened since April and May of 2020, which was the beginning of the pandemic and resultant lockdowns. In 2022, total active listings for the month of April were 1,572 compared to 1,727 for April of this year. In 2022, total active listings for the month of May climbed 31.87% month over month. This at the beginning of the most recent rate hikes. It'll be interesting to see what the May numbers look like this year. Again, these figures won't be released by NWMLS until the end of the first week in June. We very well could see additional price declines compared to 2 years ago. But once again, as of the time of this video, the odds don't look promising for those who've been calling for a housing bubble 2.0. Clickbait artists and prophets at doom like to mock those who say it's different this time. So let's turn the tables on the defeatist and perform a number-by-numbers comparison. This most recent hiking cycle, which may or may not be over, is the fastest in American history and was just getting underway about this time 2 years ago. Total active listings rose to their highest levels in 2022 in the months of July and September, 3,684 and 3,683 respectively. April's total active listings were 1,727. Remember, the lower active listings are trending, the higher the likelihood median prices are rising, or going to rise. At the time of this video, and as we mentioned earlier, interest rate traders have the probabilities of a quarter-point cut coming in September and a second quarter-point cut in December. Typically, when the Fed is cutting rates, home prices tend to rise until they reach a point of equilibrium and total active listings begin rising exponentially. Then the whole cycle begins all over again, and if the Fed feels the need to intervene, and they seem to always feel the need, they'll again start hiking rates in an attempt to bring balance to the markets. The Federal Reserve's dual mandate is to maintain price stability and control inflation. However, they also recognize the broader economic implications of their decisions. They aim to prevent severe downturns that could harm employment and financial markets. The Fed's actions are not solely based on the dual mandate. They also consider broader economic conditions and risks. Housing economists now anticipate rate cuts rather than further hikes. Lower rates could support the housing market by making mortgages more affordable for buyers. In summary, while the real estate market isn't explicitly part of the Fed's dual mandate, their interest rate decisions have ripple effects throughout the economy, including the housing sector. The balancing act involves managing inflation, employment, and overall economic stability. We're starting to see a lot of investors entering the single-family residential market, including Wall Street. Wall Street investors have been in the multifamily market for quite some time, but their foray into the single-family residential market is relatively new. I'm reading that this recent phenomenon is happening in regions around the country. Investors tend to be well informed when it comes to current and future price movement, and they're often very well funded. So in areas where they're making inroads, this can also be taken as a positive sign of impending home price developments. Just the same, all is not rosy in every county comprising the Northwest Multiple Listing Service. We track 9 additional indicators that are not included in the NWMLS's monthly reports, and we do this on a weekly basis. These 9 indexes serve as an early warning system of sorts, as there is a 1 to 5 week lag time while waiting for the monthly reports to be published. We gathered this weekly data at the same time of the week, and we've been doing so for more than 7 years now. If we don't take this data every week, it's lost forever, as NWMLS doesn't capture these statistics themselves. We've checked with NWMLS. Again, we limit the search to single-family residential only, and these figures encompass all 26 counties, as breaking the reports into individual counties would be excessively tedious. Some of these barometers are moderately elevated, telling us we could see prices stagnate or even dip in some neighborhoods. We'll be reporting on these gauges in future videos. In the interim, if you need this information sooner, feel free to reach out to us. No one ever knows what the future holds in store with absolute certainty. There are those on the internet and television that have been forecasting disaster in housing, in the stock market, even for the US dollar for years, with some even making these predictions for decades. Be very careful where and who you choose to rely on for information and guidance. We suggest going back in time to see what these authors were saying years ago. If they're stop clocks, steadfast in their predictions, and only write twice a day, we recommend looking at different authorities for guidance. We hope you'll consider including us among your trusted sources. Please subscribe, like, and share as we condense decades of experience in an industry that produces more millionaires than any other medium. Thanks for watching. We always appreciate your time.